All right, everyone. For today's episode, I am actually in the process of deconstructing my vivarium, which was the isopod farm for most of the year. And now, what I'm doing is I'm transferring some of the materials, so some of the dead leaves, and of course, many of the isopod in this jar because I'm not going to keep this big vivarium inside during winter, and since it is getting a little bit colder, a little bit darker by the day, I want to allow all my isopod to have the chance to actually escape and have their freedom back. For these isopods, though, I will need to keep a few of them to ensure that my several ant colony during winter have some food. I know you're not really in need of giving ants some food, but I also just genuinely want to continue to explore isopod farming. So what I'm doing is I am simply just replacing um, all the earth and stuff uh, back in my yard where there was a big like dirt hill here anyway, so I'm just replacing the earth that I took, and I'm allowing some of the creature to escape. A big worm. So it is a sad part, but I guess a natural part. I don't want to see any of these cool little creatures just die of cold in my vivarium. So before we reach this point of the winter and fall, I want to allow them a fighting chance. I'm not sure if they're going to survive or not to winter, but they have bred heavily, and they have avoided most predators anyway, so it was a good thing for them. But there was still some predators in this vivarium, and they more or less just had to rely on the same strategy as in the wild. It's just that they did not encounter creatures such as bird or rodent in this vivarium, so they had fairly good fighting chance, and that's why they have bred like crazy. You can see a lot of tiny little babies all over the place crawling and rejoicing as they are now free once again. And so for this vivarium again, this is going to be the main source of food, I hope, for my ants during the years. I will continue to breed them. Probably going to get more enclosures like this, but as you can see, I have placed a lot of moss and then a lot of leaves and branches and all the good stuff that was in here. So see, recycling some material. So most of the isopods, they were hiding in like beneath rocks or branch, but quite a lot of them were still living in the dirt of my vivarium. So this is very interesting. Now, as you can see, the soil was very, very moist. I like to keep it that way so that the isopod were breeding quite well, and my earthworms as well. I did not have a lot of millipede this year, but you know, sometimes it happens. I did not really search for a lot of millipede, and there wasn't a lot in my yard or around anyway. So yeah, the soil is getting a bit colder. It was a cold soil, I guess. So we're not reaching the freezing point as of yet. It's about like 10 to 15 degrees outside right now, but eventually it's going to drop real quick. So I want them to be able to escape in the wild before this happens. See, a more little isopod. Very fun little project. And I'm really glad to be able to continue to some extent the isopod farm. My girlfriend and I talked about it, and she was okay with this enclosure inside, just because it can seal up quite easily. But this one, there was a lot of flies being able to penetrate in here. As you can see, the glass is quite dirty because of fly drop. So because insect could escape so easily, she wasn't as comfortable having them inside, and neither was I actually. Whoa, there was a lot of isopod over here. Wow, so cool. Oh, and we do actually have a millipede right there. The black spot in the middle, that is. So yeah, this will allow the return of a lot and a lot. Oh, nice. There was a beetle right there. But yeah, that's going to allow the return of biodiversity in my yard. Biodiversity that I kind of stole from my yard, but now it's back and in greater numbers, so that's good. They have plenty of space to hide, like this right there, these rocks, stuff like this. So they will be happy here. And I decided to do this today because there is not a big sun, so they won't dry out, trying to find an escape. So yeah, maybe I'm crushing a few of them in the process, I don't know, but at the end of the day they will serve as food, some of them, so you know. And the stronger will survive. So is how nature works. Whoa, what the hell is this creature? Okay, that is super cool. Nope. Come here, come here, come here. Come here. I lost it. Oh well. So yeah, the soil was still pretty healthy, so that's a good thing. I put a little bit of charcoal in here to make sure that the soil wouldn't rot, and that was a good thing. A lot of creatures have managed to survive. Okay, so I have found a little beetle that I want to keep. Beetle would serve as, you know, a little bit of predation in this enclosure. I don't want it to be too aggressive, but you know, if it survives, and for the time it survived, and if it's able to breed in the little jar, this could help control the population of isopod quite a little. So yeah, I do want most of the isopods to survive though in my little enclosure, because they will be food for ants, as they don't make noise. They are rather easy to kill for the ants, and they don't really defend themselves pretty well. It's not a fair fight, but the two animals do encounter each other in the wild. Look at this. Look how biodiverse my vivarium was. Strong, strong, strong. It's almost like mud at this point, but I can guarantee you it was the same type of soil as this one. It's just more wet, because I did dump a lot of water in there. And so is the same thing for here. Wow, look at this big dude. Interesting. So pretty. Obviously, while I'm talking, I'm allowing some of the isopod to actually escape from this vivarium too. just because, you know, if they don't want to live in here, it's their chance to escape. Only the strongest and smartest can do that, but you know. See again. It looks like I'm just playing with crap, I guess, at this point. But it was necessary. I'm glad to have done it right now, while there is still a lot of chance for these creatures to survive in the wild. And they will still be able to thrive for a few more weeks outside, because the leaves are going to start to turn yellow and then fall, and that's what these guys love. They love to eat dead leaves, so yeah. Eventually though, they will have to hibernate or die. Not sure how long they survive in the wild, because, you know, I have a lot of little very tiny babies, so I'm assuming maybe they will survive through the winter, but honestly I'm not sure. I'm just giving them a fighting chance, I guess. And also I'm doing this to prevent any damage to my vivarium, because when water turns to ice, it can really damage your aquarium or vivarium. So I don't want that to happen to my vivarium. I want it to be secure. So look at this, we have found a little larva in here. It almost look like a weevil or something. Huh. Pretty weird. So I've not seen my wolf spider anywhere, which is rather strange, because I had at least 2 or 3 spiders in here. Oh, speaking of the wolf, there we are. Come here. Yeah, they really didn't do as well as other wolf spider in my vivarium as like a few years ago. This one is even actually injured. Let's go. You can go there. Sometimes wolf spider will reproduce, but not this one, I guess. So I'm quite sad about that, but at the same time, that had a massive impact on how many isopods I had, I guess. She seemed fairly weak, not sure why. And she seemed to have lost 2 of her 8 legs, so I'm assuming maybe she had an encounter with a beetle, and the beetle have damaged her a bit. But yeah, that's something that will happen in the wild too, so I'm not too worried, in the sense that, you know, it's nature. Like, there's nothing I could do to prevent battle in my enclosure, apart from maybe just keeping one species of creature. But again, I wanted my vivarium to be a representation of, you know, basically the ecosystem of Canada. So sometimes creatures, they will eat each other's. Another interesting thing is I did not see any ants in here, and at the very beginning I did have some species of ants here, but I'm assuming that they were only workers. I never really caught a queen and thus once the worker all died and no one was there to lay eggs, they did not get replaced, or maybe they escaped. That's another possibility. Yeah, anyway, the isopod did thrive a lot, as you can see. So yeah, I've only seen one wolf spider. And also, as you can see, though the soil was really moist, there wasn't a big accumulation of water, so I just moist the soil good enough. More than this, it would have been dangerous, but at this stage, it was perfect. So we have a lot of activity in here. Oh, we have even a beetle right there. So yeah. Thanks for watching, everyone. I don't think I have much more to talk about. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you all pretty soon in the next one. Goodbye.